36 weeks. That's a whole
Okay.
year.
And oh, there we are. Okay. A little bit of a delay.
Dude,
Like the antlers on the nose.
is hilarious. I definitely think I'm the Rudolph in like a little bit of a prima donna, kind of like, single trick pony.
I think mine definitely yes, I definitely ran into some Christmas lights somewhere and now they're stuck in my antlers.
Yeah, you're the workhorse of like just getting it done, pulling the sled, getting your antlers stuck in the lights.
Yeah, something got stuck somewhere, but we're still chugging along.
So. Everything's gotta be very particular. I feel like Rudolph is sort of like, it's a little too cold outside. I don't know. I wanted to be a dentist, but I guess I will pull your sled.
Wait, did Rudolph want to be a dentist?
No, the other kid, he was part of the Misfit Toys though, and that's
why
he gets
Kirby or whatever isn't it?
Yeah, Kirby wanted to be the dentist.
Which I always thought was interesting. Remember when he decided to leave, like he quit his job and he's like, I'm gonna go be a dentist, and he like quit his job. But he climbed out the window of his job. I'm like, dude, you can just go out the door. Like, why you have to be like? Yeah. Kirby was always a little extra.
HR's not going to chain you to the bench there, Kirby.
Yeah, he's probably like, fine, go.
Get out of the window.
I guess we'll have to watch Rudolph later. Boom.
We'll have to watch Rudolph.
Good homework. Homework assignment.
He opened the window and shut down.
Speaking of homework assignments, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a low-calorie hydration for your morning coffee, I highly recommend these Element salts. This one's the chocolate caramel. Tried it. I bought 30 of them, untested. And the first one I drank, I was like, oh, God, I've made a horrible mistake. But I will say I just didn't – I don't think I put enough coffee in there. They are so good. 14 to 20 ounces of coffee, 2 splashes of heavy cream. If you don't like heavy cream, maybe you can do half and half. If you don't like that, you can do I haven't tried this yet, but I may try the butter and coconut oil.
There you go.
That just requires the blender. But the heavy whipping cream, and just stir it in with a spoon. Like that's why I switched over to the heavy whipping cream. But experiment is not fully run. I have no idea how this will be as far as
Is it the chocolate? What flavor did you get?
I got the sea salt, but the chocolate I think is caramel. Chocolate caramel.
Caramel.
I've heard chocolate is just as good. I that one. Yeah, right. It was. I'm such a sucker for advertising. That design, the like gold kind of to brown.
Yeah, that gradient.
It totally caught my eye. I was like, ooh, my mouth like started watering. Like seeing it, I was like, "Ooh, that looks so good!" I'm getting
recipes. Ooh, look at all these recipes. Enjoy it hot. Ooh, look at those wonderfully warm and wintry chocolate chai.
Salty Americano. So the salty Americano is basically what I think I make, but with the whipping or with the heavy cream, it gives it sort of like a I don't know. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's absolutely.
Stay salty.
That Stay Salty coffee is it's a good I will say, like I told you, the first time I had it, I was kind of like, what? It just my brain wasn't registering. I was making kind of like the smelly finger nose face, like I don't know about this. And then I'm hooked. I told folks now watching, I was telling Eric, like I have to slow myself down drinking it. Because I'm just like, this is so good. And then I'm like, I need another one. And then my stomach goes, you didn't need another one.
You did not. Perfect. Oh, man. Cool. Well, so I'm thinking about it. Put this up. So, sorry. We spent so much. We had some technical difficulties. And then our pregame.
Yeah, we did talk pregame.
So this will be a little bit of an abbreviated episode, but we're going to get a lot. This will be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of good stuff in this month. Don't you worry.
Your drop dead is 9:00.
Yeah, that's my drop dead 9:00. Otherwise, I found that it's potential that I may all of a sudden drop dead. We'll just leave it at that. So drop dead 9:00.
Yeah. It's
you're picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah. So yeah, cool. So it was cool. We got some good responses to like running Todd through the ringer last week.
Yeah.
I feel like it went well. But as I said to you, like I feel like I need to sorry. I'm like multitasking here. I feel like we ran Todd through the ringer, but I feel like it would be irresponsible and selfish of me not to put myself through the ringer with all the eyes watching. And so I'd actually planned on I was going to we had overhead squats yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was like set the mic and run people through the overhead squat tomorrow. And it just got away from me. So I was like, shoot, I wanted to put up a video where we walk through. And then I went back to I found one that I submitted to Ackerman a few months ago, coaching the air squat. Now I'm going back and watching it. And I'm like, I'll tell you, I'll say go back and watching it. I'm glad I had that opportunity because now I'm like, okay, I definitely feel like there's stuff I'm seeing now that I didn't see then, but I definitely see now. And it's cool. Just in a couple months of just like, watch yourself once and the things you find that you need to get better at, go back to it. It's like we say, like, go back to when you first started coaching. Like, imagine if you saw yourself coaching, went back in time to the first class you ever coached.
Yeah.
You might be like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm fully aware of what I was doing wrong. And actually, Ellen was quite good at identifying that. The message was excellent. Perhaps the delivery was we all could have used some improvement on that. But but she was spot on with like back then. But she was trying for staff, like she was shooting for seminar staff, so she was getting excellent feedback, and she was gracefully or graciously passing that on to us as well. So I would say actually
for sure, and like
I would say she actually she facilitated a much faster development of class management and an appreciation for how important the professionalization of my coaching was from the very get-go, right? If I don't work for her at the beginning, I might not pick up how important it is to be a professional when you're coaching as quickly as I had. So yeah, she had great vision. Like I wish I could if I could do something different, I would take a time machine and go back and like try to work more deliberately and like figuring out like, okay, I see where you want to go with this. How can I be of service to help facilitate that? But I wasn't in an appropriate space to like have that self-awareness and like be of help. So yeah, it just did. But I mean, that's life, right? Like
totally stuff now too as an affiliate owner that I used to sit there and think like, why are you doing this and why are you not doing that?
Yeah.
And just me not having that experience, like I didn't know. And now there's definitely stuff I look at like, yeah, she could have definitely done this differently, but also there's plenty of stuff where it's like I had no idea. And then like also like
that's what, like she would have she deserved better coaches. You know what I mean? Like I could have been a better coach. I could have been a better steward of the freaking liberties and the opportunities that she gave us. So that's the lesson learned, and I walk away like my take. It's hilarious, by the way. That aren't like that. Anyway, I am so grateful, and I hope there's a anyway that she realizes like that was an amazing opportunity, and she did great things. Like she changed a lot of people's lives in Annapolis for the better.
She really did. So, but yeah, one thing I said one thing I definitely didn't do back then was like video myself and then go back and watch myself.
Yeah, and, which she said to do multiple times, right?
Yeah, she wasn't. I'm pretty. I said like he told me back then that didn't resonate until later.
Yeah,
that might have been one of them.
I kind of feel like I'm one of my students right now that comes back and be like, like 10 years later, be like, you always told me to do X, Y, and Z. I wish I would have done it. And I'm like, yeah, jackass. That's why I told you to do it. Like,
it's kind of like now having kids. When we were little and we make a mess and we just go from one room to the other, and my mom would just be like, "Wait till you have kids one day."
Yeah,
and be like, "Whatever, mom. I'm not gonna be like
I won't be like that.
Tyrant like you."
Yeah, lo and behold, here we are.
Yeah, lo and behold. I try not to be a tyrant. She was still a bit of a tyrant, but like, but now I also get it. Like, yeah. I'm basically cleaning up one room into the next.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, sorry, let me do this.
Everybody's benevolent dictator is somebody else's tyrant.
I think Socrates said that.
Socrates, I love that guy.
This is Bob Genghis Khan and anyway.
Molly Joan of Arc.
But yeah, what was it? Yeah, now I want to go back. And this is Bob Genghis Khan.
All right, so that's the second one. So we're gonna watch Rudolph. We're gonna watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great day.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna do like in the next week or so. I'm gonna do this or that again, but we're gonna do like holiday or Christmas movies.
Oh, I'm gonna crush that.
And because there's a couple that I'm like, okay, like there's spoiler alert, like we'll definitely discuss Die Hard, whether or not it's a Christmas movie.
The answer is yes.
Which always comes up. But then someone brought up like there were some other movies where I'm like, I guess I can see why people might think that, but I don't think I'd qualify it. But that's a different discussion. We'll get there. I don't want to spoil that. But maybe next week I'll have a Christmas Snoopy. I think that falls under a Christmas movie.
I would definitely. That would be so. I would say that should be next week's because we got time enough that people then can go watch them before the 25th.
Go watch them.
Because if we wait until the 20th, that's a lot of pressure you're putting on people to go and watch the movies.
Yeah. Have you ever watched Coco?
This or that?
No, and I know what that is on Disney, but no, I haven't watched that one yet.
Okay, sweetheart.
I was trying to watch it when I was staying up late watching TV and eat ice cream.
Yeah, she's okay. Go get your Yodo. Go get your headphones. I need to do this, babe. Okay. Now she's growling at me. Good. All right. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Okay. Where's my video? Hold on. So this was one.
What did you do?
Let me start. I'm scrolling back. Where is it? Right here. Okay. All right, let me. Oh. Okay, this one right here. Okay, so this was one I did back in when was this? 7 months ago. 7 months ago. Excuse me for a second.
Yeah. So I love. While he's talking, I will point out this is like a beautiful snapshot of behind the scene of Eric's brain. You could look at either his photo list or his photo album on his phone or his YouTube video feed. I'm saying this is a beautiful snap. I got a fun ride through your brain on Sunday, which I mean it. Like, I mean, it was fun and I enjoyed it because it's not like it's not like I'm on that ride or, navigating through your brain. Like I have to like clean it up or I have any sort of responsibility to get it. I just get to enjoy it. And so like, if you come into this feed or go to your camera roll, like, it's not my camera roll. I don't need to clean it up. If it works for you, it works for you. And it truly is like, oh, wow, this explains so much.
It's funny. Like there's so many, so there's a lot of great ways to like organize things. And you're right. Like I could take all these videos and put them under specific folders and this and that. But then like, if I'm looking for something particular, it's actually easier for me to just keep scrolling and find it. Like now I have to go into this folder and find it. Now I have to go into this folder. And like
the key statement there is if it works for you, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it. And it does. Like it clear. It is working. It works for you. And that's
like a functional desk for me has no drawers. Like if I were to have a desk, I have no drawers. I have maybe some like little shelf things or whatever on my desk.
Like catch areas, but like, otherwise, because you're going to spend all your time wasting opening the drawers.
Or like if it's in the drawer, it doesn't exist. Like it's 100% an object permanence thing. If I don't see it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like my bag, you say desk, my perfect bag is basically just a bag of bags with compartments and zippers and Velcro and and buttons. And I love it. And each one specifically serves a purpose. Like the pens do not go in the I don't know, whatever pocket or whatever bag it's in the bag. And then sometimes there's bags inside of the bags that are inside of the bag.
That is your bag, baby.
All right, let's talk about squats.
Let's get into it. All right. So yeah, this was me coaching through the air squats. Get to the
That's a good-looking gym right there. Those are some good-looking athletes. Look at that.
How about them? So
I miss that beautiful one in the red shirt. She needs to come around more.
Wait, too. She's the highlight of this video too.
It's funny. Excellent! I really miss Marita so much.
I do too.
I haven't reached back out to her, but I'm gonna get her. I'm coming for you, Marita.
Sam, Kelly, Mike, TJ, Bob, Monique's right there. I want to say this is Matt on the left, but we'll see. Anyway, cool. And so, context: this was after class one day.
Okay.
This was after class. They had just done some thruster workout. And I was like, "Hey, who wants to stay after for just a couple minutes while I coach you through air squats?" And they all stayed. And I think it was because like the one person's like, "Nah, I don't want to." They saw everyone else was staying and they didn't want to be left out, so they all stayed. So this is great. Yeah, this is 7 months ago. God, time flies. Right. I feel like you just did this. All right. Well, we'll do like we did last week. We're like,
So first thing I would say I noticed is you've made the choice to put them in a circle.
Yes.
And that is a valid choice. I am already watching this, thinking to myself, I'm going to see how he manages this so as not to place his butt and his back to any of the athletes at any point. Like that, whenever I see a circle, that's the first thing I think of is like, I hate them, but I know their efficacy, and I know coaches that can use them well, but I don't like them. So let me see if this guy knows what he's doing, because I don't care. I just heard this recently. Like, I don't care about what path you choose. I want to know that you have an intentionality and an awareness of why you chose the path you chose and that it works for you. So like here, like, okay, you do a circle, circles work, lines work, rows work. It doesn't matter. Do you know why you chose it in order to facilitate your ability to coach somebody from one stage of a movement to another stage of a movement?
And I'll tell you exactly why it was. I wanted to practice that cross circle or cross line cueing. I wanted to see how good I was at like fixing this person here while looking at that person across the way.
You haven't even started the video yet, but this is great. I love it, by the way. So this also, we're talking about Eric on the video coach, not Eric on the video onto the left, and not Eric, my friend, or not Eric, right? How many Erics are there? This is the plurality of Erics.
So it was the most popular name in 1982, so there were a lot of Eric.
Yeah. But you, my friend, have individualized that Eric. There ain't no Eric like the Eric I know.
No Eric party like an Eric party.
So that idea of intentionality flows down to the athlete as well. And this is, we were talking before we started rolling about, if I say something about how to scale or modify something, and then another coach comes in and says something else about how to scale or modify something, there is 1,000 ways to scale, modify stuff, infinite, if you want to, almost like, right? But if as the athlete, I'm negating myself the intentionality of what I'm choosing to do or the question I'm asking the coach to get me to something, there is a required personal agency that is a byproduct of intentionally thinking about what you're doing and how what you and the coach are collaborating to come to get you there. If you don't do that as the athlete, then you're not doing your job in order to get yourself better. This cannot be a one-way street. It is not a full 100% open my mouth, fitness is poured down my throat, and then I'm magically better and healthier. It don't work that way. It is, I would say, a 70-30. 70 on the athlete, 30 on the coach. Optimally, it's 90-10, right? Like, you do that as an athlete, like, you're going to be so much better because in the end, right? Like, I may be different than you, or I might not be there. Or let's say it gets to a bigger class. Like, the idea is, if teach a person to fish, like at some point I should be working myself out of a job. My annoying dog out. So he's not annoying. I love you, Charlie.
You're the best, Charlie.
All right, cool. Hopefully that made sense and it's not too wordy.
Makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me, and that's all that matters, right?
Done.
Cool. All right, so we'll just start playing. And then you tell me when it stopped. We'll just do this last week. Cool. All right, make sure
All right. But the air squat, this is a little breakout group, okay? So, feet can be shoulder width apart. The air squat, make sure your knees crack, otherwise it doesn't count.
I laughed too.
Cool. So make sure, give me feet shoulder width apart.
Great squat, by the way, buddy.
Cool. Go and put those hands up like you're blocking out the sun.
Good demo.
Send your hips back, push your knees out, come on down to the bottom of a squat. Good, Marita. We can get a little bit lower in that squat.
Go ahead and stop it. Stop. Oh. I love it. Good job, good job on her. And man, you are such the Ackerman of coaches. Like I'm already in the class. Like there is just like an electric attraction to. I gotta come back to you taking some of your classes, man. I miss you.
Likewise, man. I haven't taken any years since you got back, so I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, just like I'm already laughing at your joke, right? And by the way, you've been working on your squat. Were you working on your squat back then?
I'm always working on that squat, man.
Dude, it looked good. Like, that was a hell of a demo. I'm waiting for the butt wink. I'm waiting for you to roll forward. You were on your feet or your toe, or your whole foot. Like your back was flat. There was no butt wink. You had full depth. You were talking as you went through it, which not bad, not in a bad way. So, All right, demo was great. You gave me 2 angles, which was great. My only concern is you did not mention the hands being where they were going until they started moving. So, right, tiny little thing. But if I'm wondering, what am I doing that for? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And so that, right, little bit of a nitpicky thing, but I'm thinking of like layering.
You know what? Never mind. I'm not up for this. Never mind. Let's cancel it now. Too much right now. Too much already. I can't take it.
Too much. No, I just gave you a compliment sandwich. What do you mean it's too much? But I mean that you're too good of a coach. This is what Fern was saying the other day. Like, right, like you're a hell of a coach, but there's always something to be found, and that goes for all of us, right? Like the second we think I'm good enough or I'm good, I got nothing to fix. Be nervous. So that's like, but like I can already think about it. Like look at Van's hand, look at Van's elbows. Right now we're stopped. Like we've artificially. You can't look at everybody in the moment when this is happening. Right. But I'm looking around. Like Van's arms aren't straight, which means, and actually you can already see it. And from this angle, his chest is caved in a little bit. Yeah. Right. So like Matt here, you could probably pull his hands up higher a little bit, which would also then get his chest up. But I don't know that if I'm the athlete, that's what that position is facilitating me to do. So when you come around to cue me on it, I might not be actively thinking it, but I might be like deep down thinking like, why the fuck is he giving me a hard time about my hands? Like, I don't understand. We're supposed to be squatting. So that's all.
Yep. And that comes back around too. It's
all right.
It's funny because you say that because I see that now and that's constant. Well, you'll see. I'm not going to spoil. Yeah.
Cool.
DJ.
Down. Good work.
DJ, put those knees out.
Rita's down.
Stand it up.
I love her. She's so
awesome. Come on back down. I'm going to hang out with Marita for an extra second. Now sit down a little bit.
Right look at Kelly, right? She doesn't know why she's
put those knees out, Bob. Good. Lift that chest up for me, would you? Good. Stand it up.
Okay.
Good. And squat.
Good cross, though. Great cross.
Stand it up.
Good cross. Stop it.
Beautiful.
Okay. So I know you just cued Sam there with something tactile, which was great. But does I'm trying to think like what you corrected him on, is it beneficial to anybody else in the circle?
No, and it's funny when I showed this to Ackerman, he said it was right after that too. He said just touching someone does not count as a cue. So I think what I did, if I were to go back, I think what I did was like I knew what I wanted and I gave like a tactile cue, but I didn't actually say what it was. Like in my head, I knew what I wanted, and he maybe somehow got there when I did this, or I said it really soft that it didn't like. I mean, I have a mic on, so if I said it soft, you might have heard it.
Maybe, right.
And so, that becomes it. I realize I do that a few times here, where like they just need a little adjustment. I do like a tap, and maybe they get there.
Yeah.
But in no way does like no one else knows what's going on. And that was his thing for me. And this was like just touching someone does not count as a cue.
That's a good cue. Like that's a good coach's coaching cue.
Yeah.
I like
if
that.
I put my hand out, then he like maybe Sam knows to put his knee out to my hand, but if I don't say anything or do anything,
you're missing the middle part, right?
Yeah.
You're missing the body part. What are you supposed to do with the body part? And then how do I know that I'm done with the movement? My other thing on that too is, so it's funny. I always come back. I'm trying to think of like first principles. Like, what is it? Okay, so that's a downstream effect. That's not maybe the cause of why. Because again, you're too good of a coach. You know these fundamentals. You've coached the air squat 1,000 times. So what's happening that causes him to do that? Because you don't actually do that a lot. I noticed, or I remember from your coaching, you're trying to do too much.
Yeah.
So you're trying to both watch static and dynamic cues or movement across and at the circle. I was watching your eyes on that one, and you're cueing Bob while trying to fix Sam.
Yeah.
And so like it's like that's like just by adding one thing, you're practicing cross circle cueing. It caused all these other things to kind of, it didn't fall apart, right? But so that's an internet that is why it's like you cannot multitask. Do one thing.
It's so true. You can see why this video is only 2 minutes long. And I guarantee you that's exactly why. Because I tried to do, like, remember we were doing it the other day and TJ got to the point where he's like, I totally like lost track of what I was doing. Like TJ was just like, all of a sudden he was trying to watch all these things. He's like, yeah, I completely like fell off my plan or whatever it was that he said.
I do it all the time.
Huh?
I do it all the time.
Yeah, it's so true.
Right?
But like all of a sudden, like you have a plan and all of a sudden you're like, crap. And now you're trying to like squeeze all the things in at once. And I'm willing to bet that's exact. I mean, like watching myself now knowing like, yeah, I was working on the crossover cueing, but I wasn't like static here, dynamic there.
Have steps, right? Like have rules of like, all right, I'm going to watch static across. I'm going to watch movement right here, actually, which is the complete opposite for me of if I'm comfortable. I like watching movement from afar. I like doing static up close. And the reason being is I can fix static right there because 9 times out of 10, static is going to be a tactile cue. And I can cue movement afar because that's going to be an audible or a verbal cue. And I feel like if I'm correcting tactile static close, I'll say it relatively loud, but loud enough that 2 to 3 people around that person can hear it. And then when I cue movement verbally across, everybody hears it. So I'm getting like 2 for 1. It feels like a general grenade cue, but it's directed at somebody precision. So I'm like a sniper where like I hit the person across and it takes that person down, but I get a lot of bang for the buck. Everyone runs for cover, right? Like, and so if in this metaphor, the running for cover is if I verbally cue Van from across the circle from our video viewpoint, Kelly's going to do better. Mike's going to do better. TJ's going to do better. And maybe even Matt's going to do better moving, but I'm going to hit Matt statically anyway as I move around the circle. So that's sort of my idea of like, and that way, by the time I make it 180 across the circle, everybody's better.
And spoiler, you'd think Matt would get fixed by the time you get back.
Love you, Matt.
Chest up, hips back, knees out. Come on down.
It's not even about Matt. It's just
good. Sit back in that squat just a little bit more. Lean back into me. Good. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there.
Those hands.
With that chest up, knees out, and stand it up. And squat. There we go. We're getting down there, Marita. Good. Lift that chest up for me. Arms up. Good. Sit back a little bit.
Yeah,
and stand.
I do like this.
And squat.
I do. Right there, I actually liked loud, quiet. I think that I would give you a benefit on that because it makes I get monotone. Everything's loud.
Yeah, right.
Your ability to go loud, quiet, because it's not so quiet, right? The camera's way over here, and I could still hear you. Meaning, Monique could hear you correcting Van, but maybe she doesn't know exactly what you corrected. But she's like listening. You know what I mean? And I don't know if she did, but like. And I'm using her just because that's where she is in the circle. She's about as far away from Van and where you were as possible in the circle. So like, it's not about Monique. It's about sort of the layout. But so I think I would give you a plus on that, because then it also drives you to be thinking loud across, personal up close, loud across, personal up close. So whole circle going across within a small radius. And that's a good cue to yourself to where your eyes go. Your eyes follow where your voice is going on that.
What I'm trying to project.
That's a good move. That's a cool. I'm actually saying this out loud because I like that trick. I'm going to steal that.
Cool. It's all yours.
What?
You're so loud.
Touch my hand with your knees.
That mic helps. Yeah.
Up. Wiggle those toes, Sam. Just up and stand. One more time. Squat.
Who did you say after Sam? Aaron?
It might have been the mic.
I mean, it doesn't. I'm not.
And stand. One more time. Squat.
Nah, that's the second one you've done without a cue.
Out. Lift.
Or at least that I know of.
Good. Maybe. And stand it up and give me 5 air squats in a row. Go ahead.
Right.
5.
I'm so exhausted.
That's what I'm talking to. This is where I felt the room, and I think I started again. I was trying to watch too much. I bailed out.
Stop it.
I thought this was the best way. After all,
you just
Go ahead.
You just punted on third down.
Oh, totally. I got to that point where it's I totally bailed out now. I cued maybe Bob at one point across the circle, but I basically Bob, Monique, and then again poor Matt didn't get shit.
Oh man, but that was beautiful. You punted on being relentless on them, and just were like, I don't want to cue any more of you mother effers. I'm done. Just do 5 in a row. We're moving on, right?
Yeah.
I totally get it, because those 5 air squats on their own, useless, right? Basically you just gave them permission to keep doing shitty air squats, but now on their own. And you basically said, I'm not fixing any more of you. I'm done. So, but it's, but at the same token, you're so damn good at it. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm done too.
Yeah, they were.
Screw these MFers. I'm out.
I think you made the. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I didn't really establish a rule for what I was doing, with the static, with the dynamic, when I'm with this person looking across. And I think it also just came down to they're tired too. I sense that, but also, and they're also, it's also class has been over now for almost 10 minutes. And
there's a lot of context here. Yeah.
But also me, my mental fatigue from I've been queuing and saying the same thing now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. And so I think, I didn't have total clarity on what it is that I was trying to do. And so you're one, I think that's the best analogy. I totally punted on third down with that group. Nailed it.
You've got 5 yards to go. Yeah, I don't feel like passing. I don't feel like flipping, giving this ball to run anybody. But just punt. I'm out. We'll get it next time.
Yeah.
But actually, you just said it perfectly. And come back to first principle. Why? How did you let yourself get to that stage? You didn't have a thing, the one thing you were looking for in this round that allowed you to have an end point. You know what? There wasn't I'm looking for weight in the heels, full depth, chest up. And I know that's 3 things, but that's 3 things all combined that can be fixed. You did where you have them. I mean, this is actually, Marita's perfect in the position that she's in right now, because I was going to ask, what would you do to fix her? All you have to do is turn 180, walk over, and gently push her hands up.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got her in the optimal position with the hands, as a modification of this air squat. She's got depth.
Yep.
She's got weight in her heels. All she needs is just that reminder of arch your back, Marita, get those hands up. And it's so you've set, and Sam's beautiful. The only thing I'd fix on him is Sam, Mr. Miyagi, eyes, always eyes.
Yeah.
Look my eyes, right? Get your head up a little bit, brother. All the pieces are there. You said it. You just didn't give yourself a clarity of end state for yourself of when do I know I'm ready to move on to the next portion of the air squat.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. This is well, like, thank you for this. This was really good. And an appreciation of, yeah, it's just an air squat. And yeah, it's just an air squat.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So that was cool. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, it's like, because I remember the moment, like, thinking to myself, like, yeah, I think that went pretty well. And then going back and watching, like, oh, I could have done that like way better. And like I said, like, I need to have a separate session just for Bob, Monique, and Matt to go back. And it's like, oh man, they got nothing. So
that's funny. Yeah, exactly. You never made it around the circle. You basically punted. Yeah. That's the third day. That's when you punted. Is that? But like you said, I'm out. Do your 5. I'm gone. I'm gonna go get my. I'm gonna go get my phone. I'll see you guys in the 15-minute AMRAP, air squats and burpees. 3, 2, 1, go. I'll see you in a little
3, 2, 1,
bit.
go.
Yeah.
Done.
I'm gonna go do the laundry.
All right, cool. All right, well, let me go. I think we can squeeze a bit of yours.
So it's 8:57. I'm willing to let myself go into the hot seat, or we can save this for another time. But I don't.
Let's save this because your video is 5 minutes long. I'd rather let's punt it. Let's do it next week. We'll do we'll open up next week with our this or that, and then we'll check you out.
We'll do me. Yeah.
And then maybe the following week I can talk TJ into coming on and yeah.
And that's the thing, like, I hope, like, he's a damn good coach, right? Like, there's, like, and again, there's the six elements of coaching. That's the other part about this is, like, I'm so appreciative of CrossFit's methodology on the coaching side. I mean, for God's sakes, the methodology is a training methodology. Like, if you're not doing CrossFit to get physically prepared for whatever else you've got coming in your life, I just don't know how to explain to you. You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
But from the coaching standpoint, from like a pedagogical approach to how to teach, they have a very efficacious model. And it's not, they've taken bits and pieces from multiple things. I've spent a lot of time thinking and looking into pedagogy as a discipline. But the idea of, look, there's only 6 things you need to get good at, right? Like that is a useful, like it feels very analogous to in an air squat. There's only 3 things I'm really looking at. And so, right, like teach, see, correct, group management, presence and attitude, and programming. Like work on those. TJ's got great presence. He actually is a very good teacher too. Like he says the things. His seeing is there. It's that timing of the cueing to get on there. And unfortunately, when those two then his group management falls off. Similar to like you didn't have like the clarity of where you wanted to go, and then your group management.
The group management fell off. Yeah.
But like I love that about like the group management is like that's the thing that invariably falls apart when you're the thing that is your other weak.
So
like
true.
Like all of us, I think, have good group management. And his presence and attitude. DJ's presence and attitude is awesome. Yeah. I feel like mine is good. Yours is great. Mary's is good, right? Like I like being around these people. They're awesome people.
Well, it's definitely those are things too. Like when I'm looking for a coach, like that's the thing that I'm really looking for, because some of that other stuff, like you'll learn it and we'll teach and we can teach it. We'll learn it. We can teach it. Like that presence and attitude
can't teach
part,
that.
like you can't teach it. And there's
I like that of it feels though when like everything falls apart, it's like, we lump it into and we say, I suck as a coach because the group management fell apart. Do you know what I mean? And we think that's the sole that's the sole measurement of myself as a coach. And it's like, no. The reason your group the group management fell apart because this other thing. And so it's like, you still have group management. Like you still have awesome presence and attitude. Don't sell yourself short on that. You're still a good coach.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Like I purposely started poking at the thing I knew was going to cause you the greatest difficulty.
Yeah.
And so like I purposely drove you into the thing that is your strength falling apart. Because I picked, at your weakness. And it's like, so don't hold yourself, like, give yourself some grace. That's what I'm like saying that to myself. Like, give yourself some grace, man. Like, you're purposely training your weakness, so your strength is going to fall apart.
Yeah. And that's kind of what CrossFit is too, isn't it? Right?
Is. That's like, I really like that pedagogical approach of like
it's consistent. Like,
like we fail at the margins.
The way you develop as an athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, we fail at the margins of our greatest limit of exposure or something. We fail at the margins of our experience. And that's like, so that's the part of like, I'm like, oh, and so if I'm like putting myself, if I'm in TJ's position and I'm thinking like, well, what can I do? I'd be like, watch more videos, right? Not to like watch them but like get more exposure. I remember Glassman said that, like he watched thousands of hours of people doing Olympic lifts, and he had like VHS tapes of Olympic training compound videos, and he just watched them and watched them and watched them and watched them and watched them. And so I'm like, well, wait, yeah. When I first started this CrossFit thing, I watched hundreds and thousands of hours of Miranda Oldroyd, Rob Orlando, Annie Sakamoto, Annie Thorisdottir, Greg Amundsen, like just moving in those videos, OPT, Chris Spieler, and like, and it wouldn't be like all in one sitting. It would just be like 15 minutes or 10 minutes of like in between. I just do not want to fill out this next report. Or I can't do this lesson. And I'd be like, oh, I wonder what CrossFit's got for me. And I would just watch him be like, right?
You'd hear that chuckling coming from the bathroom.
That's
5 more minutes.
Yeah. I gotta watch the end of Fran.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is fun, man. That's it's so funny. Like, what is different? When you coach now, what is different in how you manage it? Like, do you physically and like conscientiously know that you're doing that differently? Not just the air squat, but like in general.
Yeah, so totally. So whether I go back and forth between circle and like lines, because I also like people to see each other. I do like the like, oh, when
I know you do
that fix, they might. So I do like to mix it up. But it 100% is like having that clarity of like, for these couple reps, this is the thing I'm looking at static, and this is the thing I'm looking at dynamic, and having that clarity like from the get-go, knowing, so that I'm not thinking about all the other things. Like I'm only watching their depth here. And even if they maybe they initiate with their knees instead of their hips, we'll get to that. Are they at least getting low enough? And so that's, and I even just maybe named, there's a static and dynamic right there. I'm watching to see if people are getting low enough in the static. So when they're down there, I know that's what I'm looking for. While I'm watching the person across, and watch to see if they start with their hips. Cool. And I know where to fix this. And so again, having that clarity of what it is I'm looking for before I even get started, so that I'm not thinking of all the things and then get the fatigue and punt on third down. I'm tired, and I just had them do 10 reps where I had them hold the bottom for 10 seconds.
I've recently, I felt myself at that point a couple different times. That's why that I just thought of that analogy of the punt on third down, but like, it just is like, oh shit, I've done it recently. God dang it. Like, no, unacceptable. Do not. All right. There is no punting. You must go all 4 down.
Yeah, we're going for it on fourth down.
Going for, yeah. And then we're doing the tush push.
Ban the tush push, yeah. Which Roger Goodell wants to ban, which I think is silly. I'm like, other teams are trying it; they're just not as good at it. Billy figured it out. Jalen Hurts he's very strong, so I think that's part of it too. But I think banning it is silly. They figured it out. So what? Anyway, all right.
Hey, my gratitude to you, buddy. Without a doubt, so many reasons why I am still glowing from Sunday's long range plan. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited to be a part of it. I'm so excited for this. Like, I'm just this. You are seriously making this so much effing fun. So thank you. And I'm so grateful.
I'm glad. I appreciate like you guys coming in Saturday and like, again, putting you on the spot, putting you on camera, putting you with people, and like having, just going for it and see what happens like that. I said, I know it gets uncomfortable. I said, I would not ask anyone to do something that I wouldn't do myself.
Legit.
And I've done it myself.
Hell
and,
yeah.
I've put myself in front of like I said, in front of Jason Ackerman and
you did.
and Denise Thomas and So I would never ask you guys to do something I wouldn't do myself. And it's really uncomfortable, but I appreciate like everyone came in and they gave it their best shot and they were open to feedback, because at the end of the day, the only point of this is to get better so that we can provide even better service to the people that we care about, to these people that like we're trying to change the world. And sometimes it takes like one uncomfortable Saturday morning at a time. So that's all it takes.
Yeah,
So,
kind of like being a family.
Yeah.
We're going to do lots of dumb stuff together. Just wait till Christmas.
Exactly. Pretty much. So awesome.
These shoes cost more than your life.
Nice. All right. So next week we'll do this or that, and we'll watch your push jerk video.
I had fun coaching it, but I am excited. I have not seen it, so I mean, like I have in my head what I think I did well and what I didn't do well, as I said in the moment. So I'm excited to, definitely love it.
Sweet. Awesome.
Super nervous, but okay.
All right, people. We will see you all
on the creek.
On the creek.